In retrospect, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara shares experience of turbulent period, pledges alliance with federal government. National Assembly announces date of resumption of plenary. Nigeria's economy records stronger 4.23 GDP growth in the second quarter of 2025. You're welcome to the late evening news at 11 on NTA News 24. We're reaching you live in Abuja. I am Comfort Fashim. Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has expressed readiness to work with the federal government to ensure speedy delivery of gains of democracy to the people of his state. The governor was in the State House this Monday evening on an appreciative visit to President Bola Tinubu. He commended President Tinubu for what he called timely intervention, which has restored stability in the political landscape of the state.
I'm here to say thank you, especially for his intervention. We all knew what was happening in Rivers State, the political tension in Rivers State, and if he had not intervened timely, nobody knows what would have happened in the state. And for me, it was saving the situation. I'm here after the lifting of the suspension to appreciate him and also tell him we're ready to hit the ground running. For the state, I believe that my coming back after the lifting of the suspension is a new and stronger hope for our people, because the government is a government about the people, it's a government that believes in peace. So our working is not just for the people, but also with all the parties, the assembly members, the National Assembly members, elders, everybody this time around are working for the betterment of our dear states.
Governor Fubara returned to office after a 6-month emergency rule declared by the president. President Tinubu had declared state of emergency in Rivers State due to political crisis, leading to the suspension of the governor, his deputy, and members of the State House of Assembly. After exactly 6 months, President Tinubu directed that the emergency rule be ended, having observed the commitment of political stakeholders to work harmoniously and the return of peace to the state. Now to the National Assembly, where the two chambers are set to reconvene plenary on Tuesday, September 23, 2025, after 2 months of annual recess. Legislative issues for consideration that top the agenda include the passage of constitution review bills, amendments of the Electoral Act, and accelerated oversight of MDAs on implementation of 2025 budget and capital components of 2024 appropriation. And this is just as both chambers prepared to receive the 2026 proposed appropriation bill from the executive in the coming weeks.
And lay the report before the two chambers of the Senate and the House of Representatives for members to also fully participate in the debate, after which we'll go into voting on each of the bills being proposed. And at the end of voting, and a decision has emerged by at least 2/3, of the Parliament, we now proceed to the state level.
The President, on resumption, will most likely bring the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly, and as such, the National Assembly will also be preoccupied with the nitty-gritty of the passage of the budget before December, keeping the practice of retaining the budget cycle to commence from January to December.
Let's be expecting the best out of the question in terms of oversight. Job is to oversight and bring up bills and policies that will improve the standard of Nigerians.
Both the Senate and House of Representatives embarked on the annual recess in July 2025. Still on parliamentary matters, the use of cutting-edge technology and artificial intelligence is being suggested to parliaments across Africa to tackle fiscal and government challenges, as well as transformation of budget scrutiny. At the opening of the 8th Conference of African Network of Parliamentary Budget Officers, the Speaker of the House, Nigeria's House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, said Nigeria is taking the lead by strengthening procurement laws to block leakages. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the delegates from 16 member countries are attending the conference in Abuja.
Effective fiscal oversight in parliaments across Africa is of essence to enable the continent achieve the 2063 development agenda. Speaker Abbas, while declaring open the conference, points to available data which states that Africa loses billions of dollars annually, monies that should have been channeled to development projects. He said while countries are left with the option of credit finance, borrowing, as is done under the administration of President Tinubu, are targeted as developments in a transparent and sustainable manner.
Under President Tinubu's leadership, borrowed funds are being channeled towards transformative projects that would expand revenue-generating capacity, such as power, transport, and agriculture, rather than for consumption. The House stands firmly behind the President's vision of using judicious borrowing as a catalyst for growth and poverty reduction, while simultaneously strengthening oversight mechanisms.
The conference aims to build capacity of budget offices for evidence-based fiscal management across member countries.
The role of parliamentary budget offices has never been more vital. I encourage us all to use this conference not only as a platform for exchange, but as a springboard for innovation and renewed commitment to fiscal representability.
Our overall objective is to contribute to the effective utilization of public resources, particularly in the context of the African Union's Agenda for 2063.
United by purpose and shared commitment, we are well positioned to chart a new course for budgetary excellence across Africa.
Among topics of discourse at the conference are oversight, accountability, and fiscal discipline, bridging gaps between appropriation and implementation, and public debt management in Africa.
They provide an avenue for us to borrow best practices from each other to enable us to know where we have limitations. We can borrow from those who have already adopted the best practices.
This is going to strengthen even our mandates as the county assemblies.
It's not only in Africa that you find corruption. Even in the great United States, people talk about corruption. But we, as human beings, every day we improve on what we're doing.
Nigeria is hosting the conference for the first time. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Talking about election now. INEC has published the final list of candidates for the February 21st, 2026 Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections, confirming that 17 political parties were cleared to contest. INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, disclosed these in a statement. The Commission notes that the publication of the final list of candidates followed the expiration of the window for withdrawal and substitution of candidates. From election to environment matters, the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA, has sealed several facilities in the southwestern zone over environmental non-compliance. The move comes as part of efforts to enforce environmental regulations and protect public health. Correspondent Mina Daniels reports that at a media briefing in Abuja, Director General and CEO, NESRIA, Professor Innocent Bariko, announced that the agency had sealed multiple facilities across the southwest zone of the country for failing to comply with national environmental regulations.
Lack of environmental documents such as environmental audit reports, environmental impact statements, permits, lack of fume treatment plants, indiscriminate discharge of black oil, failure to carry out blood lead tests on staff, no proper slag management, manual battery breaking and washing, and non-compliance with the Extended Producer Responsibility Program.
Professor Bariko revealed that several sectors, including manufacturing, waste management and agro-processing, were among the defaulters. NESRIA says it will continue to monitor compliance nationwide, with more enforcement actions expected in the coming weeks. Following the rebasing of Nigeria's gross domestic product using 2019 as a new base year, fresh figures from the National Bureau of Statistics show that the economy recorded stronger growth in the second quarter of 2025. Moplang Dako reports.
Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 4.23% year-on-year in real terms in the second quarter of 2025, higher than 3.48% recorded in the same quarter of 2024. The figure released by the National Bureau of Statistics shows that these numbers also surpassed the 3.13% growth rate of the first quarter of 2025. In nominal terms, GDP rose to a record 100.73 trillion naira as Nigeria continues to work towards achieving the much-anticipated $1 trillion economy. Sectoral breakdown of the report shows that agriculture grew by 2.82%, industry grew by 7.45%, and the services sector recorded 3.94% growth.
I think it's cheering to note that real GDP growth in quarter 2 of 2025 came in at 4.23%. Common man in the street will always ask what is in it for him or her. I think that question will be answered when we have significant expansions in the agri sector and the manufacturing sector.
For the oil sector, average oil production rose to 1.68 million barrels per day, compared with 1.41 million barrels per day in the second quarter of 2024. Meanwhile, the non-oil sector posted 3.64% growth rate, driven by industries such as agriculture, information and communication, real estate, financial institutions, trade, construction, and electricity, gas, steam, and air conditioning supply. In summary, the latest GDP report reflects sustained momentum in Nigeria's economic recovery, supported by both oil and non-oil activities. Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
Nigeria is emerging as a regional leader in nutrition-responsive budgeting, and its expertise is in high demand. Against this backdrop, senior officials from Senegal are meeting with their Nigerian counterparts to share experiences on nutrition-responsive budgeting towards strengthening regional collaboration on nutrition financing and accountability.
This is Africa learning from Africa. Two countries that once struggled with fragmented nutrition programs and now building systems that ensure every naira and every sefa spent on nutrition can be tracked, measured, and held accountable. For millions of children across West Africa, this technical exchange could mean the difference between malnutrition and healthy development.
Good nutrition is the most important investment in human capital development. This requires sharing of best practices, especially encouraged by our development partners, philanthropists, who have done very well in helping us.
Mahmoud Niang, leader of the Senegalese delegation, who spoke in French, expressed hope that the exchange visit will afford his team the opportunity to observe firsthand Nigeria's progress and challenges in institutionalizing nutrition-responsive budgeting at scale, with a view to strengthening its reforms. The World Bank is supporting both countries through this process.
The interventions that you make as governments to ensure that children develop appropriately will determine the future of your economy.
The exchange continues through Friday with practical sessions on budget integration systems and accountability mechanisms. In Abuja, Nneka Okoh, NTA News.
Let's take a break now. We'll be back with more reports. Stay with us.
The power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
The Federal Capital Territory Health Secretariat has confirmed that a suspected Ebola case in Abuja tested negative, putting concerns over a potential outbreak to rest. Mandate Secretary Dr. Adedolapo Fashawe made these announcements during a press briefing, assuring residents of the territory's preparedness to handle any health emergency. Hakimat Aliu reports.
Following the recent outbreak of Ebola virus disease in the Democratic Republic of Congo, with a current suspected case reported in Abuja, the Mandate Secretary of Health and Environmental Services Secretariat, Dr. Adedolapo Fashawe, has confirmed that the suspected case of Ebola virus disease in the Federal Capital Territory tested negative for both Ebola and Marburg diseases, allaying public fears and unverified rumors.
And we picked up patient X for confidentiality reasons. And I hereby officially announce that she is negative for Ebola and negative for Marburg disease. These are viral hemorrhagic fevers that can lead to death and can affect all of us here in less than 24 hours. This meeting is a sort of verification. You have asked what is going on, is Ebola in FCT? And on behalf of the minister, I say today that Ebola is not in FCT. Confirmed, verified, and said with authority. I also want to make it clear that this is not the first case or the first suspected case we have had this year. But due to an effective and efficient surveillance system put in by the administration of Barrister Yeltsin Wike, we have been able to follow the protocols like every other state, even doing better than every other state.
The Secretary also provided an update on the FCT Minister's recent approval for the payment of health workers' allowances and the employment of new doctors, which led to the resident doctors calling off the indefinite strike action.
It is not that we are a political, stooge, or we are trying to fight the FCT minister or fight anybody. Nobody is using us. We are doing what is right to get his attention, and the attention was gotten, and he attended to everything that was listed in our demand.
Just like I said in some of my interviews, we believe that only him could do this, and he has done it. And we want to assure him that together we'll build a healthcare system together.
Dr. Fasha recommended the robust health infrastructure and proactive measures put in place by the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, which she said enabled the rapid detection and containment of the potential threat. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
To security matters now. Nigeria's internal security challenges can only be addressed through proactive policing and partnership with security experts. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun stated this at an engagement with senior officers on how to deploy modern-day skills to manage fast-paced security challenges in Nigeria. Francis Form tells us more.
Managing fast-paced security challenges in a protracted conflict environment. The training brought together senior police commanders, peace scholars, and legal practitioners, setting the stage for an extensive engagement on the complexities of Nigeria's evolving security landscape.
Through expert presentations, interactive sessions, case studies, and collaborative dialogue, we aim to equip our senior officers not only with tactical proficiency, but with the strategic insight necessary to lead with integrity and impact.
A lot is being done by all that are in charge of this country's governance to mitigate the impact of avoidable conflict.
IGP Egbetokun commended the foresight of the Society for Peace, Studies and Practice, describing the partnership with the police force as a platform to not only reflect, but to renew and sharpen leadership capacity for the challenges ahead.
The lessons gained here must echo in our policies, reflect in our operations, and be left in the daily lives of Nigerians who look to us for safety. Every insight must become an action, and every action must strengthen the chain of security that binds our nation together.
The training session covers critical areas such as conflict analysis and effective response strategies in a volatile environment, conflict-sensitive decision-making, strengthening capacity for early warning and early response, among others. Francis Form, NTA News.
Now, there is no doubt about the iconic status of the Nigerian Television Authority. Its wide reach amplifies its years of consistent impact. For these reasons and more, the largest TV network in Africa was recognized as a distinguished media establishment at this year's NEMSIA Award Night 2025. Larry Bileyi, who captured the moment, reports.
For 3 consecutive editions, the tradition has been to round off its content market and conference with an award night that recognizes excellent content and their creators that captured the attention of Nigerians. The 4th, NEMSIA 2025, is not an exception.
It is not just enough for you to produce and just sit down. What you are producing, how can it trend? Where can you take it to?
This award night is not a time for long speeches, but celebrating of icons and excellence of pace-setting content in the nation's media industry. Nigerian Television Authority was one of the distinguished awardees. The Zonal Director, Lagos Network Center, Evelyn Wosu, received the award on behalf of the largest television network in Africa.
For content creation, we are committed to ensuring that we give you programs that will educate you, entertain you, and inform you. Programs that will make you understand that the family can remain together as one.
Other winners in different categories say the recognition is not only affirming, but inspirational to their creative professionalism.
Creative industries like
they say that you are as good as your last job. My team members know that I'm never satisfied, and that's what the creative content requires.
When seasoned, competent professionals actually look through what you're doing, alongside so many other people that are doing good as well, and pick yours to say this is the best, it's a huge pat on the back.
After winning this award, we are definitely going to do more.
The award night draws the curtains on the annual conference of the nation's electronic media content and awards, an innovative kernel of MKWAN, providing platform for showcasing, networking, celebrating, and empowering the industry. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
That concludes the late evening news at 11 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Comfort Fashion.